What's up, guys? We're live. We have audio. Everything should be good. Yes. Welcome. Have a lot to do today. I plan on kind of making a couple of videos out of the stream to just go with that. We'll do a fusion prep video for raid, and I have just a state of FIFA Mobile video to go through because there's so much going on right now in the game that come on, can we not send a pass through? Jeez, a piece that we need to address. And the plan is to do that here. And we have access to... It's worse than last week. We know a little bit more than last week. And I think my biggest concern is the shifting... The amount of shifting complaints and how fickle some people are. They're either happy or they're not happy, and it's frustrating. Yeah. So decent amount to talk about, and the Renfield movie is coming out, and I have access to the trailer, and so we're gonna skip into the middle of this and do a little bit of like a soft sponsorship in the middle of the stream. So there's Renfield stuff going on right now. The movie, yes. The Renfield movie is just called Renfield. You ain't loved unless you were forced to watch Super Mario Brothers. You haven't lived. My sister, God love her, watched it on purpose. I didn't understand that one. That's like Sonic the Hedgehog, only worse. I don't know. But I probably will watch the Barbie movie because it's Margot Robbie. And what's funny is I think the Barbie movie is going to be like PG-13 for some reason to bring some kids in, but it's not supposed to be a kids movie. I believe that there's going to be a lot of people watching the Barbie movie with Margot Robbie, and all they're going to be thinking about is the Wolves of Wall Street? Is that what it was called? Wolf of Wall Street? And the Margot Robbie in that movie, which gives a new definition to Barbie. Yeah, it's I don't know. People are the Barbie movie is going to be nuts. Issues to hand. Oh. Yeah. Can't wait. All right. God damn, it's hot in here. People are weird. I worked at a theater. The biggest theater in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1994 5. I worked there in 1995. And I was hired back. See, back then, this is a long time ago. The marquees out front, like the big sign, when you pulled up, they had a giant sign and it showed all the movies that were playing, like what movies were there. And then if the sign was big enough, they had movie times. And then 1995, not 45. And they had these big plastic letters. They were like this big, and you had to get up on a ladder and climb way up, like 2 stories high onto the sign, and change it around every time a new movie released or the movie times changed and that kind of stuff. And you had to be over 18 to do it. A lot of high school kids work at the movie theater, and I was in college at the time and thought working in a movie theater would be like the greatest job ever because you get to watch free movies, which is why I took the job. And I got hired as an artist because every Wednesday and Thursday, the whole front of the theater was painted. It was glass. It was like this like 20-foot high glass wall, and it was tinted. But I got hired to come in every Wednesday and Thursday and paint the glass with like a big mural using tempera paint, and paint a big mural for whatever movie promotion was coming in. So I basically would work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday each week, painting the glass wall out front, making whatever promo for the big movie that was coming in. And then I would have to go out and change the sign, which would be like a 4-hour job of changing the sign. And that's what I did for a long time. And when that occurred, there were several movies that came out, so I got to see firsthand what happens. And one of the big movies that was released at that time was Showgirls. And the hell that the movie theater went in, which was my favorite movie to paint. I think the most fun I had, the biggest mural I did was probably like 60 feet wide by 20 feet high, and it was for Twister. I did a giant Twister on it, and then we set lights up behind that would shine through, and it was a strobe, so it looked like lightning. That was probably the coolest promo I did when I worked there. But when Showgirls came out, people treated it like a soft core film, and it was so bad after the first day, the only people who were allowed to go into the theater and clean it were people over the age of 18 because of the stuff that they found in the theater. Awful. We need basics well before controllers are involved. They're never going to create controller support for mobile across all the phones. They would never do it. A watch party for the original Mario Brothers movie. That was Bob Hoskins. Wasn't it? Why am I thinking it was John Leguizamo? Was it Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo? Kinsey, thank you. John Leguizamo. Jesus. Was John Leguizamo was he Luigi? John as Luigi. My God. You didn't hear it? It was like it just said it didn't do any voice audio. I have the Renfield alerts set up for the stream. Irish Italian. You did 2 Heroes Journeys players and got 12 million in profit. Yeah, I mean that's awesome that you made like 31 mil yesterday. I think that's what it was. Made 31 mil yesterday. The problem the problem is that making 31 mil in FIFA Mobile is being excited about making 31 mil in profit in FIFA Mobile at this stage in the season is kind of like getting excited about winning a versus match at Legendary at this point in the season. We're well past that. At this point, it's just that dead. Yeah, it's rough. I don't even know how to tackle it. See, the problem is right now, there are so many people that this is their first season playing. And when this is your first season playing, you're a little bit behind the curve of what the rest of it is, of where everybody else has been. And the shift in the market has created a culture where the values have dumped down so low that it's kind of lost. You're hoarding for tots and endgame cards. Yeah. All right, we'll wait on this and take a look at it. All right, so let's do this. Let's see what we can do about who sings that song. The dinosaur song? Are we still talking about the dinosaur song? Has the game ever been in a worse state? No. No, the game has never been in a worse state. This is hands down the worst season we've seen. Just it's insane. There's no point to any of it. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. And I'm gonna kind of go into it and see if you can follow along. What we have right now with FIFA Mobile is a state in the game where it's divided right down the middle, with people who have played the game in previous seasons prior to the 2022 calendar year. So if you played FIFA Mobile in 2021 or older, you're considered a legacy player. If you're new in the last year and a half, and the only version of the game you know is the version of the game that we have since they've added walkouts and a player catalog instead of a bot market, then you are a new player. Even if you've been playing for well over a year, you're still a new player, not a legacy. So the problem is this thing is divided right down the middle between legacy players and new players. New players across the board they're frustrated and they're complaining about stuff, but they're not complaining about what's wrong with the game. They're complaining about the same stuff everyone complains about every single season of the game. We need better cards. I want to update here, and sometimes it gets boring, and give us new stuff, and cut and paste events and blah, blah, blah. It's the same shit we've been complaining about year after year after year. And there's nothing wrong with that. Those are normal complaints about any game this large that, as it goes along. And we're in the longest season ever. We are right now 16 months into FIFA Mobile 22. Even though we're into April of 23, this is still the same season. Nothing has changed. There's been no reset. We're still in FIFA Mobile 22, which was released the first week of January 2022. Legacy players, however, who know what we had before moving into this are completely upset for reasons that they've never been upset before. It's not the same crap everybody else complains about. The reasons that we're all upset began with the beta. They took away our legacy squads. That was the first rock in a giant pile, which has become a massive mountain at this point. When they took away the legacy squads, it completely changed everything for most of the people across the board. You lost all of your progress moving forward. We aren't able to go back and see what anything was, and that really, really frustrated a lot of people. Then the big change was we went from the market that we've known for years and years and years into a completely new player catalog. Region locking as well. Once they decided to divide the game into multiple regions between North America and you have Western Europe and across the board, we lost the community aspect of all this where you could play with friends that were outside of your region. Once it region locked and it got divided, that completely destroyed it for a lot of people. So region locking, people left. Changing the market, people left. And it kind of settled. All the new players came in, and they didn't know what they had before. They had never seen a bot market. They had never seen any of the stuff that we had coming into this. There were no handicaps. There were no minimums, no maximums in values. It was just what it was. You could play with anybody. You could friend anybody. There were just so many things that we took for granted coming into this season. And when it began with the change in the market, the people who play the game market first and build out of the market saw that change and realized, holy shit, this is going to go downhill so fast, and everything trickles down from the market. It took about 6 months before the majority of the people who were built around the market
Consti1985 says they/EA need to do an event like World Cup, with stadium upgrading gems/skill boost etc., and massive exchanges. For example 50 golds 20 elites 1090 plus for a 110 plus. It could fix the market.
It won't fix the market. See, okay, so here's...
_88 says facts Travis, I miss the good old days.
See, the problem with the market right now is it's not going to take one thing to fix the market. It's got to be across the board. There's got to be massive improvements and changes like we've never seen before, because we've let it get so far out of control at this point that we can't rein it in. The majority of people who have been playing it and slogging it out each and every day don't realize that for the last 16 months, they've had their foot on your throat and you've been slowly choked out. What we had coming into this, and I'm not talking about seasons past, I'm talking about the beginning of this season, about a year ago, we had the complaint between mini events and major events. So think about the two, the major events and mini events. Last year, this season, but a year ago, we complained that the events were too long. We had major events that were like 3 to 4 weeks. They had multiple paths, opportunities. It was dynamic. You could do this or you could do this. I could choose to go this path or go that path. There was some level of complexity to everything. And then the mini events were shorter 1 and 2 week events that coincided with it that were linear. You logged in each day, you did your stuff, you collected your rewards. Everybody got the same shit. But what happened was, over the course of this year, the development has slowly dropped off. The dev team has gotten so damn lazy that we now no longer have major events and mini events. We now have massive events that are ran like mini events, very linear. You log in, you do your crap, you take your stuff, and you leave. And our mini events are now pack events. That is what has happened, and it's happened so slowly that the majority of players don't realize it. So even if you're a new player and you've been here for 16 months, you're forgetting what it was like a year ago, where we had a 3-week event that was not as good as we had last season, but it was still an event with some choices and a linear path, or, you had a little bit of a choice in it. It was like 3-4 weeks long. And then we had these 1-week events that were exactly like UCL. They were exactly like World Cup. They were exactly like the stuff we have now, where you just log in and do your crap. Our mini events became the major events, and now they're like 2 fucking months long. And our mini events are gone, and they're replaced with promos. They're replaced with promos, which is only store packs. So when you look at what we have now and what's coming out, we have all of the stuff that we have in the game right now for the new events that we're supposed to save all this. UCL is all pack openings, and you log in, you do your minimal crap each day. We have the Water Festival, which is just a daily free pack. We have Future Stars, another pack you get to open, enjoyable. We have Lantern Festival, another pack we get to open. Are you guys so excited about these mini events? These are not mini events. These are promotionals. And this is what we've kind of turned to. Now you go back to the market and people are complaining like all the values are dead. Like, oh yeah, there's a problem. That's because their fix for the market was to leave what we had. And they said, okay, everybody's complaining about 999 plus listings that we can't do anything with, but dropping off the minimum value all the way down to a dead value, a couple 100,000 coins for a 102 rated card, that kind of stuff, dumping those values all the way down, all it did was reset where the 999 limit was, because it didn't change anything. Nobody wants your players because they don't need them. There's nothing for you to do with a player that is dead. There's no exchanges. There's no lineup requirements. And even if they are, lineup requirements are so minimal. Oh, 3 players from the current event. That's not a lineup requirement. And exchanges are not squad building challenges. An exchange means you find the minimum requirement and you can put 11 of the same players in for that. So even if they add a bunch of exchanges, it may help the value for about 2% of the market. 2% of the market. That's it. That's where we're at. And the complaints that we're getting right now, I'm reading on the EA boards where they allow influencers in and people, content creators and such. There's all these public Discord servers that are run by EA that people get invited to give feedback on the game. And I'm reading the feedback people are presenting on the game, and all of the new players' feedback, the complaints are literally mind-boggling for someone who has played the game for more than 16 months. What they are focusing on and think of as the problems in the game are so far out of whack, they're not going to change anything. The problem we have right now is like threefold. We have mini events that are pack promos. We have major events that are just really, really, really long mini events. There is nothing dynamic, there's nothing interesting, and there is no demand in players. Now, there are things that could be fixed to help EA as far as this goes, and these are suggestions that have been given to EA over and over and over. Now, the problem isn't that EA doesn't know what needs fixed with it. The problem is that EA doesn't really have control of their own game. And that's something that nobody wants to talk about, specifically EA. They are not in control of their own development of the game because this was outsourced. And whenever you outsource a game and we have no communication with the actual developers of the game, we get into this weird communication circle where we're complaining and they're agreeing and they're saying, okay, we'll take it to the chef, and nothing's ever getting done. You're still stuck with raw steak. The suggestions, we need exchanges, but we don't need minimal exchanges. We need a massive amount of exchanges, an entire exchange program that would be trade-up offers. Exchange so many bronze for a silver, so many silvers for a gold, so many golds for an elite, so many elites for a master, so many masters for a legendary, similar to what we have in UCL. That has to be implemented into the game, and that will not fix the market. It is a tiny portion of what we have that would help, but it isn't going to fix it. They need to implement something into the game that is long-term program. We have nothing this year that is similar to what we've had in seasons past, such as seasons, which if you're not used to FIFA Mobile and you haven't played previous versions and you're only here for the last 16 months, you don't know what World Tour was, what seasons was, what the Icon Exchange program was. The major programs that last the entire season of FIFA Mobile that you can play until complete, that are massive. The closest thing we have to it was the Torres Icons Journey campaign, which lasted like 10 minutes and it unlocked once a week for 4 weeks. That's the closest thing we have to any of it. There's no major program or campaign in it, and we definitely need one. Now, that program or campaign could be something that includes exchanges, like we had for Icons a few seasons ago. Everybody used to complain about cut and paste, and now we look back on it and go, holy shit, I would give anything for a cut and paste event from 2 seasons ago to just be dumped right into the current season that we have, change the art, add some walkouts. People would be ecstatic. In fact, if you retroed Season 4 and Season 5 into the last 3 months and just gave us what we had, even with the current market, people would be so much more excited because the developing when EA had control was so much better than it is now. Yes, we complained. We're always going to complain. There's never a time when we're going to be like, oh, the game is perfect, thank you, no problems, keep it like it is. It's not going to happen. We're always going to have something we want to see improved. But what we've had right now, it's all the lemmings have jumped off the cliff. And we're all falling to our death, and everybody's looking at everybody else like, Are you okay? And you're like, I'm fine for now. But you're going to eventually hit the bottom. You're going to hit the water, and everyone's going to die along with the game. We're the lemmings, and it's jumped off the cliff. We need exchanges. We need lots of lineup requirements. We need a long-term program, and we need to open up training. Right now, training has been capped at 30 for so freaking long that it has killed that entire portion of the game that allowed us to have a reason to dump players in as training XP. So when we no longer use training XP because everybody's been at 30 for so long. I think Trump was still president when we maxed out our training on the team. So now we've moved past it. We no longer need all these players for training. We no longer need them for exchanges. We no longer need them for lineup requirements. It's all the way, just team of the year players are dead. We don't have a need for any of this. Opening up training the way we used to have rank ups and allowing us to take them from, let's say, 30 to 60, no matter what the card is, and every 5, we don't even add stats to the card. Just let us increase the OVR. If they allowed that and we had additional rank ups and it was even increasing cost and increasing XP, would give us a need for all of the players that we have that we can't get rid of, use them for training XP. And people would run out of the players, they'd have to buy more. That would stimulate the market. Don't add stats to it, just allow us to increase the OVR across that on how we do. That would help. Increase the boost. We're done with our boost at 20. It's been so long. We're stuck. Now here is another one on top of it. So we've got exchanges, we've got increase the boost, we've got bump up the training levels and allow us to increase the training levels. One last thing would make a difference, and at this point, they've taken the rails off the market when they dumped all the slum values down so low that 80s are worth more than 90s, and we still have everything at plus 999 listings because they never understood how the market begins with, how the market works to begin with, is if they're going to dump the value that low, then let's just remove the bottom end on the cards altogether and take their current slum value and make that the recycle. Shit is worth nothing right now, and you can't sell it, so remove the minimum values. Let us sell stuff as cheap as we possibly can, and then let us quick sell this stuff for a recycle value that is where it is at currently. So if you've got, I'm trying to remember where it is. It's like 1.1 mil for a 103 or something like that. I think it's a 104s are the only ones that are above a mil. So we have a 104. Let us quick sell that for 1 million coins. Stimulate the buying power along with everything else. That would not only help bring coins back into the game, it would dump players out. People would drop down from 1175 players down to about 200-300. Yes, we would remove all of these dead program cards that are extinct, and we would give us a reason to move forward. The reason, then we use all of the base content, which is 90 back, silvers, golds, and elites as training XP because they would increase the training. This isn't rocket science. This is pretty simple stuff that any decent development team could come in, look at the game, take a week, evaluate it, look at feedback, run a poll, and go, oh, shit, we can fix this. It's not that hard, but we're stuck with the most incompetent, laziest, dumbest pieces of shit on the development side of this. And I'm not talking about the guys from EA and the communications team. Not them. It's the development team, which none of you have ever dealt with or talked to or had any communication with. The people you talk to are the EA communications team. Jason, Antoine, they're not developers. We have no access to development anymore. Card art, player interactions.
Says Travis Plaza, apply for Nexon as a FIFA Mobile developer. You're overqualified. Your ideas and thoughts are spot on and would help save the game and season. Folded hands, flexed biceps, thumbs up, beer.
Yeah, not moving to Taiwan though. It's not that difficult. It shouldn't be that hard. The only thing that we have right now is either they know their contract as developers is up, so they're basically just dumping shit in to get us through, which is why the events are so damn long. 2 months for UCL with a bunch of pack promo mini events that EA is actually creating the cards for, not Nexon. And they're just dumping player art in and go, oh, it's a new pack promo. We'll just new pack promo. Or this is the dumber version, is they are attempting to tank the game and the FIFA brand along with it, so that when EA Sports FC is born, it's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. And people will be like, that FIFA game sucked. EA Sports FC is really cool. Now, I don't think that's what they're doing, but it's something to consider. It's not what I think, but it's something to consider. I personally just think this is just pure laziness. Laziness. Purely lazy. Contract is coming to an end, and if that's the case and they're not in control of it anymore and EA takes back control for EA Sports FC, I'm fine with that. And they're like, we'll just get it through. We're done. Let's just let it go until that point. It's beyond frustrating. That's my rant. We just need something to change. And knowing what we know about the new events that are coming, we have Division Rivals changes, which we still haven't seen. Player of the Month is just going to be a reward for Division Rivals. So it's not a new program. It's not an event. It's just going to be a reward. We have, Game Changers? No, not Game Changers. Shapeshifters. And there's like a fantasy thing or whatever. But if you're watching the Asian version of this game, I got the list of stuff over here. But if you're watching the Asian version of this game, where you can pretty much see all this stuff ahead of time, you're going to realize that all of these events that they've listed as mini events are nothing more than 2-week pack promos. Maybe they have quests. None of them are events. None of them have skill games. None of them have anything. It's just more crap in the store that requires FIFA points and gems to buy. It's not going to stimulate the market. It's not going to add any demand. It's not going to help anything. It doesn't give you something to do every day. They look at that and they're like, hey, they want to be able to do something. Let's take away their opportunity to autoplay and make some of this stuff really freaking hard so you have to play it. Which, if we're just have to play for rewards that we don't want and don't need, all that's doing is making us quit a little bit quicker. It's frustrating. So yes, we are in a crisis stage right now, because if you look at what's coming, we've got 2 months of UCL and then Top Secret, which most likely is going to be Team of the Season, which is going to be another 2-month event, which is pretty much 2 linear events taking us into EA Sports FC with just pack promos alongside it. And if Team of the Season is anything like we have with UCL or anything, they're just biding time. And it is frustrating, because I know I've seen a lot of people already quit. I know a lot of people have shifted to new games or just walked away from playing altogether. And it's frustrating, because I love this game, like, to my core. I've been playing this for so long. It gives me, it literally brings me joy at a way that I don't think people can recognize unless they're, I don't even know how to say it without it sounding really crazy. There's certain things for me that this game gives me that I get nowhere else. And I love it. I love the sport. I love everything that it is. And watching it plummet, crash, and fall downhill has been the hardest thing I never thought it would go this bad. I knew this season was going to be rough. I never thought it was going to be this bad. I need for people to see it and to realize that there is so much more to this game than what it has turned into now. So if you get anything out of this, go back, watch some of the videos. If you're a new player, if you've only been playing less than 16 months, go back, watch old videos from previous seasons and just event guides. Look at an event guide for one of the programs that we don't have. Go look at Freeze. Go look at Easter. Go look at anything that we haven't seen. Top Transfer. All of these major programs that have been swept under the rug this season because the events are 2 months long and we don't get the joy of all this other stuff. Look back through those and see what they were. Just watch the guide and look at it, and you're going to be blown away at how intricate, complex, all the stuff you had to do each and every day throughout the entire event, and to see what we're at now in the difference. It's just not, this should not just be a pack game. And it's frustrating. Treasure Hunt. Yes. Treasure Hunt is another one. Just look at the old Team of the Year. Look at Team of the Year. Look at Team of the Season. Look at Team of the Season from last year. Not from 2022, but from last season. 2021 Team of the Season. Watch that before they release this year's Team of the Season and be able to compare it, and you'll understand why a massive portion of the community is still completely and utterly pissed. That's where I'm going to leave it. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm FinallyHeSleeps. This has been my rant on FIFA Mobile. Read the comments that are across the bottom of the screen because there's some really good comments in here. And we just want things checked and fixed. Thanks a lot. As long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep making videos. All right, so I'll cut that out and make a video out of it because Jesus, this shit is just out of control. Yeah, I mean, we have, like, we're supposed to be getting, was it Shapeshifters or What If coming up, and the thing is where they're going to release all these players out of position. Like, you could have, you know, Salah as a left back. You know what I mean? A Salah at left back, which is cool. That's, like, I can get behind that. That is awesome. But it's just going to be in the store. Like, they're ruining the, it's frustrating. It is beyond frustrating. It's killing me. Be any more market changes? No. At this point, there's nothing planned. We've got what we've got. Their plan was to just lower the values. That was it. The water thing, the water festival, I don't know. Just adding more players. Yeah. I don't get it. All right, that was long. That was a lot of complaining. Yeah, I would really be excited if they took Allison and gave him power header and made him a striker. Yeah. Yeah, New Year's Eve. Oh my God, I remember, you know, you had hourly hourly stuff and flash sales for all, and it was like that for years, and then we didn't get any of that shit.
One hand ship the other one, see which one fills up first.
That was frustrating. All right, let's do this. Let's end this portion of it, and we're gonna go over to we're gonna look at Renfield. We're gonna look at Renfield on stream, and I want to check the trailer out just for a minute, and then we're gonna move to Raid. We'll get into Raid, and we'll take a look at the new Fusion event. So, thanks a lot. Don't go anywhere. Specifically, I want to check out Renfield, so don't go anywhere until you at least do that, because we're going to do that first before we shift over to Raid. So the stream's not ending. We're just cutting it here for the whole FIFA Mobile portion. Thanks a lot. As long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep making videos.